Hello, and this is Saturday Morning Recorded, and I'm your host, Cohen Vogel. And for today's special guest, that's my friend, Rawley Moore. And for your weekly tidbit of news, it's that giraffes only have 7 bones in their neck. Crazy, right? Here's our special guest.
Here's our special guest this week, Rawley Moore. Now, what is your favorite part about being in theater?
You know, there's a lot of good things about being in theater, but I have to say my favorite is probably getting out in front of a full house because our audience is just great. The community of Aberdeen is really good about coming out and supporting their students. And I mean, of course, we can't take all the credit. Our directors, Mr. McCafferty and Ms. Apple, they're both really good at their jobs. They've really built a really good program here and a really nice culture that we can kind of step into, and they kind of just get the ball rolling, and we're ready to succeed, which is something that everyone looks forward to.
Okay, and what's your favorite part about being a part of show choir?
Show choir is a little different, because there's always marching band, but my favorite thing is really getting out and competing against other groups, because you never really have that competitive edge that, I'm a little partial to competitiveness. I don't know if you know me that well, but that's something I'm all about, really. And just getting out and getting to go against different schools, and you kind of build rivalries a little bit, and it's just really fun to get out and perform and compete.
Okay, and which do you like better, being a part of theater or being in show choir?
I'm gonna have to go with show choir over theater. Like I said before, I'm kind of a competitive person by nature, and although you kind of have to compete with your fellow schoolmates and stuff with trying to get a role, it's just nothing like going out to a completely different place, taking a long bus ride down, and going out against Mitchell and St. Francis and all the Sioux Falls schools that we get to compete against, and just giving our all out.
Makes sense. Now, you're also part of the football team here at Aberdeen Central. So which do you like better, show choir or football?
Man, you're really getting me with these questions. I've got to say football actually is probably my favorite. The work ethic there is quite a bit different from show choir and other fine arts activities. There's a lot more stuff that I feel like an individual can do, like getting in the weight room and going out on the field during the summer and doing drills and stuff with other friends basically once auditions start for fine arts and once they end, that's it. That's the whole season. But with sports, you have an off-season period, which it's an off-season period, but are we ever really off-season? And that's one of my favorite things to do is going out there and still being able to get out and being active, which is something I really enjoy.
And what is your favorite production that you've ever seen or been a part of?
I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast is probably my favorite production to be a part of. Gaston was a really fun role, and it was a little challenging to come in as a freshman, and I had big boots to fill, quite literally big boots. But, it was just such a fun role. He's such a big character, and it's really fun to just get those roles.
And is there anything that you'll miss from high school besides your friends?
Well, it's not just the relationships with my friends that I'll miss, but, relationships with teachers. I can't tell you how many people have gotten a grad card invite. I ran out of 100 within the first 2 days because I had so many names I had to come up with, all of my past teachers who I'm really good acquaintances with, and just the overall atmosphere of the high school experience. It's a little more laid back before you're actually putting out your own money and your own self into your own education.
Makes sense. And for our final question, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book? Well, in one of the classes I'm taking this year, we go through a lot of literature every year, a lot of old classic British literature. Shout out Mrs. McQuillan. And seeing as those are the ones I've read most recently, dare I say it, but I might go with The Odyssey. It was just such an epic, literally it was an epic, and just something I really enjoyed.
Thank you, that's all the time we have for you today.
Here's 30 Seconds of Nature. Eva's word of the week.
Torrential.
Here's the Take 5.
Here's this week's Take 5. Now, are you a morning person or night?
I'm gonna go with morning person. You know, I sometimes wake up, or a lot of times I wake up before my alarm. So,
How do you like your eggs?
ooh. See, this is a difficult question for me because I used to be allergic to eggs, like severely allergic. I'm not as allergic now. Like if you put it in a cake, I probably won't notice.
Oh.
But if I eat straight eggs, my mouth starts to itch, so I typically stay away. You know.
Yeah, probably should have.
But I
been
guess
allergic.
scrambled if I had to go. If it's in like a burrito or something, I'll go scrambled eggs.
Okay, now what is your favorite sitcom?
Favorite sitcom? Jeez. Showing my age a little bit and like not so negative way. I don't really watch any sitcoms. You know. I guess I'm more of a movie person anyway. You know.
And have you ever peed in a pool?
Have I ever peed in a pool? I mean, probably. I don't know, man. We used to have this little kiddie pool. It was like maybe 4 feet wide, 4 feet across, you know, a little circle one. And I'm sure at one point I must have.
And if there was an endangered animal species that you could help out, which one would it be?
Oh, the endangered species I would pick, and I have to answer fast, but I'm really just talking so I can fill time and think of the animal, is armadillo.
Okay.
The armadillo is a good choice, but not all species are endangered. Some species are vulnerable, which is a level of endangerment. I don't think that's a word, of being endangered, but not all are. But some of the main reasons for them being vulnerable are domesticated dogs. So that's kind of interesting. And just like last week's animal, the axolotl, the WWF.org does not have a special donation area for armadillos. So if you know a group that helps out armadillos, you feel free to donate to them. For my book recommendation this week, it's going to be The Day I Became a Bird by Ingrid Shadbert, and illustrations by Rudy. It's a really nice children's book, and it's a nice little book. For my adventure this week, me and my family watched a few of the family-friendly Oscar-nominated films, like Soul, Over the Moon, and My Octopus Teacher. You should really check them out before the Oscars, which I believe are... Well, if you're watching this the day it comes out, they should be tomorrow, I think. So watch them before then, but even if you aren't, they're amazing films, and you should definitely check them out. Speaking of films, me and my parents watched the documentary called Seaspiracies. Now, this is for older audiences, this documentary. We did a little bit of the research. Some of the facts aren't necessarily completely true, but most of them are, so then again. But watching that made me and my family try this. It is fishless fish. That's not actually what it's called, but I mean, it's Gardein, and we got them, and they were pretty good. So you should definitely check them out. Yeah. And I'm your host, Cohen Vogel, signing off.